All mother sentient beings, limitless as space, especially those enemies who hate me, obstructors who harm me, and those who create obstacles on my path to liberation and omniscience, may they experience happiness, be free from suffering, and swiftly may they attain precious, unsurpassed, perfectly complete enlightenment. All mother sentient beings, limitless as space, especially those enemies who hate me, obstructors who harm me, and those who create obstacles on my path to liberation and omniscience, may they experience happiness, be free from suffering, and swiftly may they attain precious, unsurpassed, perfectly complete enlightenment. For that purpose, until I attain Buddhahood, I will apply my body, speech, and mind to virtue. Until death, I will apply my body, speech, and mind to virtue. From today until this time tomorrow, I will apply my body, speech, and mind to virtue. I take refuge in the Buddhas until attaining the essence of awakening. Likewise, I take refuge in the Dharma and in the assembly of bodhisattvas. Just as the Buddhas of the past gave rise to bodhicitta and progressed along the bodhisattva's path, so shall I give rise to bodhicitta for the benefit of all beings and practice the stages of the bodhisattva's path. I take refuge in the Buddhas until attaining the essence of awakening. Likewise, I take refuge in the Dharma and in the assembly of the bodhisattvas. Just as the Buddhas of the past gave rise to bodhicitta and progressed along the bodhisattva's path, so shall I give rise to bodhicitta for the benefit of all beings and practice the stages of the bodhisattva's path. Until awakening, I take refuge in the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Supreme Assembly. By the merit of generosity and other perfections, may I attain Buddhahood for the benefit of all beings. Until awakening, I take refuge in the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Supreme Assembly. By the merit of generosity and other perfections, may I attain Buddhahood for the benefit of all beings. May all mother sentient beings, limitless as space, have happiness and the causes of happiness. May they be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. May they not be separated from the happiness that is free from sorrow. May they rest in equanimity, free from attachment and aversion. May all mother sentient beings, limitless as space, have happiness and the causes of happiness. May they be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. May they not be separated from the happiness that is free from sorrow. May they rest in equanimity, free from attachment and aversion. An infinite array of worlds, each with 4 continents and the wealth and infinite oceans of realms. If I bring them all to mind and offer them without exception, please hold with compassion all the beings they contain. My body, enjoyments, and whatever I own, my aggregates, elements, and sense sources, my aspirations now and in times to come, as well as everything I grasp as mine. By offering them all, may I be blessed with the end of self-grasping. Completely liberated from the bounds of real and unreal, transcending the names and attributes of arising, cessation, and abiding, coming and going, affirmation and denial, the supreme mandala is the natural state. When I offer it, bless me to attain the state of Buddhahood.
Om Garan Devanda Generana Manda Partijaya Sovai Namo Nasi Namdage Lama Nasi Jirgen Sanjabamba Kansa Yonder the Sarvanda Kurwa Donrosa Singela Ye Norve Zoge Nazan Jime Jarve To Jime Ye Madan Den Zeve Danika Roa Jomze Rinpoche Da Sengi Mane Sorvande Chinye Mane Singel Sindene Jime Nandanda Londe Chuka Dova Yengelo.
Namo. To the Guru, the utter purity of all appearance and existence, I offer all appearance and existence arisen from the primordial ground. I supplicate you, may the 3 realms be completely liberated. Please grant blessings to empty samsara from its depths. Lord, with the 5 omniscient wisdoms, crown ornament, kind one with loving nature, precious protector of beings, heart of all the Buddhas, inexpressible by words or thought, I supplicate you from the core of my mind. Bless me from within the state of Dharmata. Bless me to realize this mind, primordially pure and unborn, as the unfathomable Dharmakaya. Please turn the wheel of Dharma of the greater, lesser, and common vehicles according to the dispositions and mental capacities of sentient beings.
Kanki Jinsan Dawe Mengo Gezahan Zumben Dan Roje Sempe Seo Sendra Sarbe Drugun Megi Duzi Gyo Tuji Dama Kune Gyurin Jide Sumge Kong Kyab Dwa Bema Garbe Jabe Dale Yezo Gyon Dedulere Jonda Mamenze Longchenpa Dada Shagya Gwingi Dani Nyami Renjimbe Jide Sungwe Shaola Gwe Shaze Omi Chugi Yingi Padana Duzun Sangye Gwingi Ngoni Razi Chuku Su De Zeba Zavela Me Shaola Gwe Shaze Anda Chochu Dongi Jigden Na Dijik Lomare Gyo Baga Soda Dinter Dambe Chugi Chambe Zambar Deba Tamchen Deshi Je Namala Yike Dan Ludan Nujinge Chum Dada Me Yike Nam Rogangi Dagi Chizamba Tamche Gedu Dagi Chuden Do Tene Tugi De Cheba Sambar Shu Tari Tene Senje Chudi Tene Gyabji Garchen Rinpoche Ki Katar Ki Tene Gyabanjida Sumgungi Tene Sungur Tanda Gyebe Drupgan Tsawuk Sasa Tene Sungur Gyeba Che Jigda Chunga Jig Ni Yore Di Indu Chunga Di Tsikje Jungi Nduk Digi Tene Da Tijik Chagore Ze Ka Nason Ani Ngada Di Lola Drugu Choju Na Yorba Lola Druguri Yine Di Tunda de Yaguchi Tengo Tamanyo Yaguchi and then Deshe Chemanyo and he told that Anzo Perchina Nila. Then the Chagzo talk about Pudu Simba. Garchen Rinpoche Shugben Dula. Then at Mambushaya de Shema Peva that would do. Servurabadu. Not perpetrate. Rinpoche deal. Yine da Rinpoche Garba. Rinpoche Gab Mandak Bachu thing a Kashin Baji, the Shugis.
So please, everyone, take a moment to generate the mind of precious bodhicitta. And so at the request of His Eminence Garchen Rinpoche, today His Holiness will teach on this song, this short song by Lord Jigten Sumgun. And so there are these songs from Tsaok that are titled the songs from Tsaok. There's the more extensive song and then a shorter, more abbreviated song. And so this is the more abbreviated song, which is comprised of 12 lines, or 12 lines or 12 verses. And so Garchen Rinpoche asked His Holiness to teach on this song. And His Holiness is, it's a song that he's familiar with, that he knows by heart, that he, has recited many times, but he's never actually really kind of deeply thought about or investigated the meaning. So it has given him this opportunity then to really kind of deeply contemplate or think about the inner meaning. And so he feels a little bit, unprepared and uncomfortable, teaching this in front of the Garchen Rinpoche, for instance, but because he has asked him to do so, he will.
Garchen Rinpoche da Perchi da Naniga Lo Chage Chimbuda Zoba Chimbugita. Then Quande Keba Yomari and the during Achia the test Kenzata with the
And so there really isn't anyone who is more versed and skilled in the areas of Dzogchen and Mahamudra than Garchen Rinpoche. And so, he doesn't actually feel qualified to teach this in his presence.
Especially the present inside debate and outside debate.
Oh.
No helps like Rinpoche, such as Rinpoche. Okay. Nyering Tsogdom Tsogi Tabuk di Gorgi the shooting Achinju Gala, and Sabukla, Negel Ronyo, and Jungtine, Dashan Jechina. Then you must have the lamp to read, you must have land to read. Then that's how we read the Manza corner, shoot the Lumba shoot, Longshur Champo, China, Yukju Yunya, any Langma willow tree campus. Maybe this part I will say a little bit in English better, okay? Then actually you translate. Well, when I was maybe 9-10 years, I think I have been pilgrimage to Dedum and then have to go there. That is located south is located north of the Digung Man Monastery, Digung Tel, Changchubling. Ride horse about maybe half day can reach there. Before we climbing the Dust Mountain, they have a very narrow valley have to ride, and they have a little bit stream also everywhere, and they have willow trees. They're full of willow trees, and the riding horse also up there. Very very full of them. They said they have many deers. Those deers' mouth looks like a horse because they're eating the leaves mainly. They said it's quite big. Here, deer is much bigger than that, like some mule. Very big. Yeah. So there are several types of this in Tibet, quite big. So then we go there. Then left, they have one mountain. Then we had climb up that. Maybe ride horse 30 minutes that time. And that time we first reached there. They have several of sunny places. They have small hut. And the top of the hut, they have many blue sheep sleeping there. Blue sheep. So then I very excited to want to close those things, right? And then we have some maybe 15-20 horse. They just don't come. They're stand up, going to leave, right? Many people. Then I said I want to go close. Then one monk come up in the one plate he put in some, I think they're salt. They keep into a hand there, usually. Then I try to let them, you don't come, follow me. I just go. I go a little bit before. I try to, maybe I can see like this very close. But they never come in my hand. Anyway, they left, And then the cave is very dark. You can get into a little bit, inside a little bit narrow. They said in Jigdel Sumgun, he said this too narrow. He pushed back in a little bit. They have his back something. They do not have any hangers. Then something like this. They have like hands out of hanger. And there's a little bit dark, then he put something, the small hole is also called law, gar, white. The logar. That's another name, logar. Law is something here have hold. Law, lung have hold. This is the cave, the lung have a little bit hold, right? So that is I remember. Then it's happened in the Lord Jesus, you all know, right? They born in Kam area, Dendu Gurata. That is man Yushu is called. The town is Yushu present. It's Qinghai state now. Yushu Do. They have about 25 minutes by go to the village. It's called Guratak. Actually, Abji also went there, that place, Gyuratak. Present, they have a new airport called Patang Airport. You can Qinghai directly fly there. Quite a flight. There also we have two monastery, then the Gyuratak, also Abji Cave. So he born that area, Tsang born there. So he did it. They have also retreat hut there, down there. And until 25 years, he stayed that area. Then later he heard the Pangmotrupa. Then he, day and night he went to the Pangmotrupa. And there Pangmotrupa, when he come, now my disciple is complete today. And then blessed him. Then he did, under Pangmotrupa's guidance, he did 7 years retreat, Ichungpok. Ichungpok is quite near airport area, that area, present. So then, after Pangmotrupa passed away, then he went to Digung, several places. Then finally, Digung and 1179, then he first established the Digung monastery there. Then that time he was 35 years. After quickly there so many monks come, thousands come, and then he fell. Also looks like he a little bit disturbed too many. He want to a little bit quiet to go to meditation. But another things, the secret history background, they have the Mount Kailash is Jagasambhava bodies, holy places. Lapchi is Jagasambhava, the speech holy places. Tsari is Jagasambhava, the mind holy places. There some local deity come to Sijide Somgong. And then your teacher also have a Pangmotrupa also saying, do your meditation practices more. And they invite him to these places, holy places. Then he promises to do something. If he could not go, I sent many monks. So that time, so order to do that, one day he disappeared from the Digung monastery. That was 1191, when he was 48 years old. 1191. 48 years old. Then everybody to search him where they go. He certainly night he's disappeared, right? So he went to that cave. Nobody know. Was everywhere search, finally, no, he is there. And then then he told that I have a. Then they said everybody requests he come. All the monks went katak. That katak is not now in this plastic mat. It is a raw cotton or silk, right? And they brought the thousands monks there, and then giving to katak to come back to temple monastery. Then he said, I have a promise to go to retreat. Teacher is also will ask the 3 places, Mount Kailash, Lavji, Tsari, holy places, want to do that. So I have to go there. Then everybody they said, please you stay, right? They have choice. Either I will stay monastery, you all go there. Or you stay monastery, I will go there, choose. Then everybody said, we will go, you stay there. So then he first stayed 4,000, sent letters, 5,000, later many things. The first, second, third, they have, They have a long story there. So it's happened like this. So that time this song. So first you have sing this song once.
Yeah, so we can actually sing this song in English, so you can follow the melody. At the feet of glorious Pagmodrupa I bow down. If there is activity, when acting it is method, and if there is no action, through that non-activity, it's spontaneously achieved. If there's no duality, then it's indivisible. With regard to the body, see how delightful it is. If there's speech, then when speaking, the benefit of others is fulfilled, and not speaking is beyond objects of speech. If there's no duality, then it's indivisible. From the perspective of speech, see how delightful it is. If there are mental arisings at the time of arising, merits accumulated, and in non-arising there's the accumulation of unborn primordial wisdom. If there's no duality, then it's indivisible. So with respect to the mind, see how delightful it is. By the virtue of this song about body, speech, and mind, sung as it arose within meditative experience in the splendorous Sawa Grove, may awakening soon be reached. May awakening soon be reached.
Thank you. So that is usually we prayer book, the combined one prayer book. So they have like this. So those since 800 years, right? So editing some scholar, some verse, they're a little bit nice. They're fixing little bit. Sometimes meaning also a little bit change. So I could go back to his original Jidasam goes Kambum, the number 198. Each sentence I put a number. So that is 198. So I found it there. Little bit slightly different, but meaning is not different. But the words way to explain a little bit different there. So I will explain that. So that beginning, Kambum, they have beginning, they said, Jiktian Gombu Chinlapki, Chanjup Semki, Dingshik Top, Jingshik Chung, Rangisam Nishiki, Nansing Sundu Jukba Da, God in the Tsukudu.
So in the collected works of Jigten Sungman or the Kabum, so it begins with, through the blessing of the world's protector, or Jigten Gompo, competence in the awakened mind has been gained, and certainty with respect to my own mind has arisen. Appearances and mind are an indivisible union.
Dina the Jigten Sungman say di Tongma di Jigten Sunggu San di then Loma Pangmo Tubale Ashu. 방모도 시야슈베간 지대 숨공 스티슈요 제제드네 지대 숨공다 방모도 샤차네 디웅기 알로마스 개반 지대 숨고라 에 지대 숨공 슈도와 이내 직 겹고 디나 퇴바지 겹바 지대 숨공 말람나 에 방모도 지대 숨보다 노르고도와 가서 배제 루기인데 때문에 지대 숨고 숨 세베가 야고 마테는 방모드베 숭이다 디고게베 숭이마도 노고도와 어디 탄다 나 코란게 자벨라마 디고게바 지된 숨공기 지된 건비 친랍기 enge 창주부선다 띵 톱송 enge 셈디 탄담 창주부선의 니시기에서 에네 나와더 셈 숭도 주버도 세제드네 디네 마테네 디 네데타네 탄담 창주부선기 낭심 숭주기 텐디드네 룽아 예수님의 자는 마숭구요.
So beginning here, it says it starts by saying Jigten Gompo, which is confusing because this is often, how Lord Jigten Sumgön is referred to. But actually, first, that is how Pagmo Drupa was referred to, is Jigten Gompo or Jigten Sumgön also. And so all of his disciples of Pagmo Drupa referred to him as Pagmo Jigten Gompo or Jigten Sumgön. And then it was, and how Jigten Sumgön himself referred to him. And then, when Lord Jigten Sumgön succeeded him or became his successor, then he became Kyopa Jigten Sumgön. And so sometimes when reading the text, it becomes a little bit confusing to know whether with the Jigten Gompo or Jigten Sumgön that is being referred to is Pagmo Drupa or whether it is Lord Jigten Sumgön. And so here it is Lord Jigten Sumgön who is saying, due to the kindness or the blessings of Jigten Gompo, meaning Pagmo Drupa, I've gained confidence in the awakened mind and the ultimate truth of bodhicitta. And I've developed certainty with respect to the true nature of my own mind, which is the union of appearances and emptiness, or the indivisible union of mind and appearances. And so this song from Saok is dealing with that indivisibility of appearances and mind, or appearances and emptiness, as it pertains to all three doors of body, speech, and mind.
다 지제 당부디 체나 제자 탑이네 승어봐. 체나 제자 다디 류나기 류기권에 차체야리 꼬바체야리 되네 나이권에 되네 놀러야리 나로야리 가르쳐는 롱아기 저와 가르쳐비나 아니 다 나신기 이기권에 참 천지에게 돈에 되네 다 저와 제재 상말로디 탑리스.
So then the first lines, it says, if there's activity, when acting, it is method. And so this is referring to all of the activities that we do through, for instance, the door of the body primarily. So activities of prostrations, doing circumambulations, exerting our body in the activities of virtue. And then when it comes to the door of speech, then this has to do with reciting mantras, reciting scriptures, and so forth. But here, first dealing with the mind. So all of these deliberate actions, or not the mind, sorry, the body, all of these deliberate actions of the body are within the category of, having attributes or characteristics.
대단히네 류기 권에더니 진바다 수dim다 쇠바다 준주다 삼대 야라디게 참말로 되네 탑기 콘스투요레스.
Oh, and they are all the nature of method. And so whether we're engaging in acts of generosity, discipline, patience, diligence, all of these deliberate actions with the body then become a means of method or skillful means.
Then Jimba Dabuji Sombayinaya, then a Sangsingi Jimbana, Chugi Jimbana, Mijiba Gabi Jimba Sudu, that Sangsingi Jimba Dabuyina, and then Gwen Meba, Sagu Meba, Tungu Meba, Zola, then se Hu Temba Dabo. Tinsangi, Tinte, Chizo Nala, Zambulina, Yorvata, African Nandavala, Sagu Tungu Meba, Tindel Mongola, Tene, Jimba Tangi Yore, Tana Shingi, Zambulina Mongola. Integitene segu jimbataya re tulo taya re kowajinya khare ina da sangesengi yujala ge tone jimbataya sangsengi jimbasirba.
And so then first when applying the body and generosity, this there's for instance the material generosity or practicing generosity through giving material things. So this means, those who are without food or clothing or who are in need in some way on a physical level, then by helping them, those beings, by providing whatever it is that is needed. So for instance, in many parts of the world, there is a real lack of basic needs, for instance, in places such as Africa. So when practicing generosity by donating or providing those things that are needed, such as food or clothing or clean water, then this becomes a practice of the material generosity. So essentially it is the practice of generosity through giving objects, through giving things.
Then Chugi Jimbani, then Chu Shen, Tayan, Songi Chidu Sheva Mayimba, Sondabo, Nugutanda Mayimba, and Chukara Jimbatayarva, Chugi Jimba Heva. Minji Wagabi Jimba Sinyati, then saw Gabataburi. That is in a Jizona Yugudwata, the Kuryu, the Hurricane Lasso Badang. Sayum la sobata, that in taking Jiba Mangu, Chulog in Jibata, Koyuki and Mangu Shingoro in Degala, and make Mangu saw, introduce saw capture in the Mangushi Lagashi Yorba. Those are some magic with Jimpe to your yes.
So then the next type of generosity is the generosity of Dharma. So this is then the practice of giving the Dharma freely. So it means not giving the Dharma like as some sort of like business transaction, but actually just freely and giving the Dharma. And then there is the generosity of providing protection from fear. So we see many examples of this in a kind of a larger sense in the world, especially with environmental catastrophes such as hurricanes or earthquakes. And in such situations, many people come to help the beings who are the people who are afflicted by those disasters or who are affected, and many come together to help them. And so this is, for instance, an example of providing the generosity of providing protection from fear.
Teneda Lu Gone Sudum Sungal Chashaban, Nijo Number Sudum Gawachudu Sudum Simjet 20 Sudum Kasum Yonkorva. Nijo Number Sudum Daboina, Sangitene, da Nievala Tomia, Migiwachul Tomgu Yorva, Sojoba, Majimba Lemon, Deba Lobariemba, Zun Thomas Suzum Gavier, Nasim Nesum Logda, Migiwachu, Le Tom Goyati, Tene, Nievane, Nijo Tombes, Sudum to Yor.
So then there is discipline through the door of the body, and there are three types of discipline. There is the discipline of restraint, practicing restraint, the discipline of delighting in virtue or making effort to accumulate virtue, and the discipline of benefiting, of working for the benefit of sentient beings. So in the first type of discipline, which is the discipline of restraint. This is, as the Buddha has taught it, primarily the practice of refraining from the 10 actions of the 10 non-virtues. So the 10 non-virtues being, taking the life of living beings, as sexual misconduct and stealing, and then not engaging in the harsh speech, lies, idle chatter, or divisive speech, and the 3 non-virtues of the mind, which are covetousness, ill will, and wrong view.
Then you Dom Goyagi Gumzendi Hiwa the Kachambo Rendo. Ayasana Sangi Jumden de Chetsang Lo de Gula Den and Debu Yuva Sunguyore, Guyel Den, Guyengi Dendil Den, and Kowal Sunguyora. Tangazo Kowa Dinala Bena and then Sendila Bena Kashe, then Chawalam Return Mandringe. The song that we in a son Lam Mandra, that kind, you Chena, then Mandik Bagan, you are the Gedi, Gimzen, you are the Gimzen Karasana, said Nela, the Penchela Rang said Dida, then Temungi Penchela, make you a Lamangu Jig Sabe. Tindegin Yalan Dene, and Taridina, make a Sabe Gula Dene, and Jebutella Lama you would drink Yorba. The Nazo Jigden Dinang Dunge Bang, Chawalam to Yakushi Yongu Yona, and then make it with Bangu Yorba. Good. Sangi Sama the Gudi subject Yalsungu Yorba. Nambechu Sawat.
And so practicing restraint is so important because all phenomena arises based upon causes. So once the causes have been created, then there is the inevitability of the ripening of that result. And so all of samsara is a product of the functioning or the workings of karma, cause, and effect. And so we can see, there are many things, for instance, in this life where people struggle and things don't go well for them. They don't have success in their activities and their, business pursuits or so forth. And so the reason for that is a karma, because there's some cause that was created in the past through the seeds of the non-virtuous mind. Then through whatever actions of body and speech, particular causes were created that then ripen in such a way that is unfavorable in this life. And so in order, the cause or the way, if it is that the wish is for, happiness and well-being and for things to go well in the world or in this life, then the causes have to be created for that. And so this is what the Buddha has really emphasized again and again, that everything, all phenomena depends upon the causes. So it arises based on causes. And so in practicing restraint, then we avoid creating those causes that ripen unfavorably.
Chetsang Sangi Jumden the Tikbachi Machashing, Sungyorwa. Gawa Pusun Sobarjes, Gawa Pusun Sobarj Sunga de Tangazo, the Nejudum, Gawa Chuduk Slim de Gawa Tangi Megivel and Donny, Gawa Jusoya, the Kayasan and Taringaranso Jigden de Debbie in a Teneji, me in a Gesa in a Lumba Yago, and a message Sawaya des Chaga, and Chawa Lamdo Son in a Hayina Gangalochi Lamgubu. Or did our Yoya, the Gangaya, Sangama Tela, Penje Telatana, Penje Delaya, Gawaji Chebal, Yombade. In day you do that send the Digi Pusun Sabana, and the Dewaji Gona, and the Gawa Pusun Sabarche, Super Sangi.
And so, as the Buddha says, do not commit even a single wrongdoing and engage in an abundance of virtue. And so the opposite, or sort of the second type of discipline, the first one being the discipline of restraint, then the second one is the discipline of gathering virtue, or gathering an abundance of virtue. And so this then becomes the opposite, or counteracts that those causes of non-virtue by creating causes that are virtuous and then ripen as favorable conditions in the future. So in this life, all of those favorable conditions, whether it pertains to, the land in which you have been born, and kind of the trajectory of your life and how things turn out well, all of that is a product or a result of the virtuous causes that have been gathered in the past. So if it is that, in wishing to have well-being and happiness in this life or in future lives, the cause for that is to gather an abundance of virtue.
Tene sumba da semje tönjig surimdi na da semje la pendo yoya goya yobdige samalo tönchiya bena kunga dabuji na semje khaja sagumena en tonzole ya saya tikte teya dang da khare go chungne en tingsan da nyedi mangsa sheyu dene koryugleya dene dakji chiya na koryugla di chetubina en semje tönjungo dugoyores bena hingji dabiye na ya en hingdila semje zu saya yunguyore buda buzik donzu koran zu saya yunguyore nyesa yunguyore sa yunguyore the koyuk 차창 보시면은 나자포나 근데 semje samolo 나자포고와 koyuk di게디 만주디 쥐리 만주 대사 디 강바다보디 네 koyuk 데르와 저나 koyuk 디 대보충은 나래 대보용그와디 상계기 추 땡진진중 이 갈만 대브리 디인두 디 koyuk 내가 야보 지체토베 있나 semje 다 무슨 talentaba tene cha rida semje mitsamma lolia pendo yoya that semje twenji chudum duyo des
And so then the third type of discipline is working for the benefit of sentient beings. And so His Holiness says that one way that he thinks that this is particularly important to consider these days is through making efforts or engaging in efforts to protect the environment. And so, it includes all activities of working for the benefit of beings by providing, for instance, also food or medicine or benefiting beings in whatever way, but also in particular, by working to protect the environment, there's so much collective benefit that comes to beings. So for instance, even if you just plant a single tree, then that becomes a source of food for so many creatures. It becomes a source of food. It also becomes a dwelling place, a home for beings, large and small, also many insects. And so if the environment is not well, if it's not healthy, then the beings who live in the environment won't be healthy. And so to protect the environment becomes like providing, a nurturing home for all the beings who live there, for all beings. And so this is also, very much in line with the Buddha's teachings on dependent origination, or karmic interdependence, because everything is connected and depends upon the health and well-being of the outer container, the environment.
Tene luigi gone zunju somyala da chego to zunju sombayna ane zunju dan beso gawa chego jizumela reba da chego yori already soba les soba cheade da jidangi luigi gone soba chegorba soba cheade kechen bushire jidan junjumne sondu soba da bukado me yine ya sobe we diba chayalo soba la sago me sondwa soba di chen cheabena tene rangi digba mangu chik chantu bu yoba gadupti and the Enepena Sobayawaji come to Bena Rangi, Legachese, Legunale Inari, Kerang Nangi Kimza Inari, Nepensu, that Mitumba, the Kankalo, Nuran Dugua, and the Sambatias, Kuyangata, Kiba Pensu, Zero Yoya, Lepento Mongoya. Tangazo Soba says, Sebagan Yang, Kionkur Goyarich, Mijig, Wayushana, Dimarova. 아주 자와카리 있는 덴바직 장된지 구르바 장부 덴바직 원이셔는 팀 토네 내가 줘야요. 이내 콩주만 인베 토네 덴베기 내가 시야만 고요래. 되는 서바지나 서바 고미하디 이거라서 개침부지를 최전에 가도블 서구고요래. 되는 지den기 자와체비 있는 가도블 마스나 기부지간에 된다 죽토야요 말아. 제가 서버 공부다.
So then there's patience. So the patience. And so it is said, patience. Which, as it is said in the Bodhicharya Avatara, there is no negativity like hatred, but there is no ascetic discipline or virtue like patience. And so through patience, tremendous negativity or non-virtue can be purified. So patience is really the means to purify negativity, and it also creates a well-being and happiness and harmony. So for instance, in the home or family, then as much as the individuals can practice patience, then they can all get along with one another, and an atmosphere of harmony and happiness is created, and in general, that is patience that fosters harmony overall. And this doesn't mean, however, that patience has to be like subjecting yourself to abuse or oppression. But we have to kind of be honest and also, maybe perhaps resist oppression when it is present, but in a way that accords with the law, in a way that is not infected by anger. But in any case, if there is patience, then we can endure all sorts of difficulties and hardships.
Then do you go to Zundu Zomiati, then Garanzo Churina, the Legali, and Zundu Machana, and Duptokumare, Jisumila Dabu Togu, Damsumla, Kyogunet, and Zundu Chatubina, Tarpekona Duptopata, yes.
And then there is diligence. So it is diligence that allows us to bring all of our activities to fruition, and in particular with respect to the goal of, for instance, liberation, then it is necessary to have diligence that's like that is exemplified by Chetsang Milarepa, sort of without concern for food and clothing and so forth.
Something Paruzu Chimbata, Shine Gomiada, Dirita, so Senji Shine Gomiada, something Paru Chimba. And then the Dawina, then that things are Gomyam Nervatina, that is a Chacheva Kazakala, the Guinga give Vipassana Sigdua, that is some Hingirava. Tela Dico Yante Seshi singing Shuna Samson. Guinga the Manche di Vipassanella, Lakton Sigdua Manchi, Lakton Gurgundo. In a dig, any Lakton di Yamle Manche, the Donia Mambuchi, Gejitibegala, Lakton gi, di Tawadi, Halamindu, Dina Manche di Tampania Shinang, so Tampania Shawa, so Rendo. Mimalia Tia Manche the Saw Number Chabatido. Sawa Chama never Shabba D any 시내 의식을 내게 말해 학동 파샤 봐. 시내 의식을 내게 말해. 시내 삼보밤마도 의식을 내게 말해. 시내 의식도 삼대 당본 예바 숨바 학동 의식도 삼대 시바스면서 내고 말아.
So then there's meditative concentration. So meditative concentration is primarily at first developed through the practices of shamatha or calm abiding. This is also practiced, for instance, these days many are maybe familiar with the tradition of Goenka, which is often referred to as vipassana. So most people say, that what is practiced there is vipassana. But actually, this isn't the view of vipassana that is actually, what is really meant with the term vipassana or special insight. But what they primarily practice is within the four foundations of mindfulness. There is mindfulness of sensation, or the Pali term, for instance, is Vedana, the mindfulness of feeling tone. And so this mindfulness of feeling tone leads to states of meditative absorption that are actually calm abiding or shamatha based, but it's not even actually the most really truly developed levels of shamatha. It's kind of the preliminary stages of shamatha. So you have the different stages of meditative concentration. The first dhyana, the second, or the first stage of meditative concentration, the second stage, the third, and the fourth. And vipassana isn't actually arisen until you get to the fourth stage, the fourth dhyana of meditative concentration.
Chita manguji dadi vipassana de uglia ugjanche komike yorba odi goinga gi sabde mendro samsamre yorba manguji yosa tango tamad di goinga gi nyamnenda mendro sambu yorba inen gotsungye sangi 좀 된대로바 duwa gi budi tangbo niba nar sedan duwa venaya tangbo niba nar yore sangi 좀 된대 로두 가와체네 가와체 지야메바 근데 ug pardan sudanche shubuins dinen golsuknayor endine yarne ge gabla ya tene nyamne na zo de ukdangla ge tola ne di tampanye sha shi zo che komtumna ge doa.
But many kind of in these Theravada traditions are also practicing vipassana using the breath as the meditation objects, and so many think that maybe this started with Goenka, but actually that's not the case. This is really what is first taught in the Buddha's teachings in the Vinaya. And for the Buddha himself, prior to attaining enlightenment, when he practiced asceticism for 6 years, enduring great hardship, physically, then when he finally focused primarily using the breath as his object of meditation, and then as there were the rains retreats, the summer rains retreats, also during this time the main focus was meditation using the breath as the object of focus, and also practicing the four foundations of mindfulness.
Tene sange sheshubega lakbar du gewa ashugege kabla ani di gagarnal pe tarbuche ni gaga yongle pe shin tarbuche di kabla tene dajumbo utara yimbe ji shunye ji gi tene barmala chini ene barmala pe berbati nyamlendi barmala pe ene barmala tene kuinga shunye di gaga mirgi ma barmala keba di ene kongi lama sawada imbi led sawada deni ene di nyamne yago chungni kongi dadi kena yagal paki gures ngodu ches 1960 nala yagal be entine ya zambuling yong la be ne dadi sa kaji shuluk den zo de nyamne chigyo re kurang nangbari sheg marba.
And so during the time of the King Ashoka's reign in India, so then at that time, Buddhism was flourishing, and there was an arhat who by the name Dachompa Gitsin. Sin Garerela Dachompa Gitsin. Uta. Chompa by the name of something like Uta, and he traveled to Burma, and in Burma he established the practices of the Buddha, and this is how Buddhism then became established or widely practiced originally in the regions that are now Burma. And so later on, in modern times, Goenka traveled. At that time, Buddhism wasn't really practiced in India, and so Goenka traveled to Burma, and he was an Indian man, and he studied with a Burmese teacher there by the name of Lady Sayadaw. And then practicing with him, he really mastered the meditation, the practices, and then his teacher told him to bring these meditation techniques back to India. And this happened then in the 1960s, and now it's almost established as its own tradition of meditation, like throughout India and in other parts of the world.
딩산 잡불링 도바다.
So it's
하지 줄로 딩임바 딘데게 냠네 치기요래.
And so many people are practicing it almost like its own religion, all over the world, but it's actually Buddhist.
But they didn't say this is Buddhism teaching, right?
Yeah.
Just breathing and feeling, that's all. Anyway, this is a worldwide meditation tree now, right? Everywhere, city, you can find the center there, everywhere. Yeah. So this is the part of that thing is right? Thing is in Yamne. Thing is in Yamne nala mikje senje shine da way ne senje shine da ruwa. Ben ngara zo senje shine ko ba kan dun du do de ne chama ji sha ne do diu xin ruri khari ne da ji le chama ji le de ne ko ma da bo marmele de ne ko ban da bo yana yidam gi girim da bo jine yidam la yigu la de ne u ne de torzug ne je chen ne ma de ne rimba mi shi ge ne ma ko ma da chak zen da ko ma da de chang lo chen je gi mi ri ba de chen je gi de ne sama de je be gi de ne hine ri chen je gi hine de 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 ta da kong gi song ba de ne zeba da je ba mi ba da je ba yin du chen na che se tab yin de sa ne 탑 손남 다 탑의 시점 얘기 차는 탑이 차는 누구래스 가이스는 참말을 죄봐서
So this falls into then this category of meditative concentration, meditative absorption, and it is essentially so we have the different categories of meditative absorption that are practiced in our tradition. So first, for instance, is shamatha or calm abiding with attributes or with characteristics. And so this is developed first by using an object. So by placing in front of you like a pebble or a piece of wood or a grain of some sort, or some practice using the flame of a butter lamp. And using that as the object upon which to place your attention, and then also practicing using eventually the visualizations of the generation stage, but first maybe using an image of a Yidam deity, familiarizing yourself with the different attributes of the deity's form by kind of moving the focus, to the different parts of its body, like, from the lower part up to the upper part, to the eyes, and then to the hand implements and different aspects of the clothing and so forth. So step by step, kind of changing or building the focus in terms of the different areas, so then the visualization can become stable. But all of these methods fall into the category of calm abiding with attributes. And because it's using an object of focus, then it's a means of conduct which is that falls into that category of method or skillful means. So an accumulation of merit. When we think of the two, accumulation of merit and accumulation of wisdom, then it actually falls into accumulation of merit, or in the terms of the two of method and wisdom, then it falls into the category of method because it has attributes, because it is conduct with attributes or characteristics.
시간이바 디드네 디르바 마체 charmi 튠기 줍사드 마체바디 식디 데네 데바르바 past 마체바 present charmeba 다다와 그봐 디데 다톤다 치아메바다 류 베나 데네 우글틱 믹스 때는데 치아메바 마체바 우글때는 공부다보다 사말제는 공부 마신네 믹제도 제바 마이바 에네 진짜 마공바 단제 마공바 타네 아니 다만 제는 저바 메바 디 에네 카르스네 그 랑신기 튠기 쳐봐 그때는 됐는데 시작으로 다디 저 맞아 참민 튠기 좀 찌르기 전에 다디 시럽기 바로 주신 버튼 한다 보시래 시베랍기 바로 주신 버튼 시럽기 바로 주신 버튼 되네 준죽 나라 송보다 와이나 다들 공도 쉬베 gemba chudum soba samde dingabu digeti disodo yala dida tamjeni tübe hirap töndu songs dige samalo ya hirap de tokbe töndu joje de tokbe töndu songbres ya tegi yomada 다디 니스메 받다 보세 제다 디게디 생이벤 데버대로 딱 한다 시르기 바로 침바 세베간다 시베기 시바 상면 날랑다 시럽 상면을 초도 키워 랍디 단 지den기 바로 침바 베나 코레 가서 참아도 코레 가서는 게는 바로 침바 시르기 바로 침바 배주 메바 배주 상마 돈네 마체 참이 튠주브랑 힘가는 샤바 송도아 탑的시럽 롱디 쉬고想的对的야라디다 탐비 티베 시럽 송서 쉬고 想的对的 don't need now
So then there's the line, and if there is no action, then through that non-activity, it's spontaneously achieved. So actually he said that the non-action here is actually past tense. So it's actually like if nothing was done, if there was no action. And so this is referring to, when then all of these kind of practices that involve some level of effort are abandoned. So for instance, using the breath as an object of focus that object of focus is no longer needed. And so there's just effortless abiding. Then in that effortless abiding, it is, there's that the essence or wisdom is spontaneously established. And so this is the transcendent, what is referred to as the transcendent perfection of wisdom or prajna paramita. And this is essentially what all of the other, in the practice of the 6 perfections, all of the other 5 perfections are meant is to eventually lead to that 6th perfection of wisdom, the realization of that transcendent perfection of wisdom. So it says this in the Bodhicharya Avatara, that all of the other branches, being all of the other 5, are taught, has been said, by the Buddha. It has been said that these are all for the sake of prajna, or for developing wisdom. And so then when this wisdom is realized, then it is the wisdom of non-duality. Then it is actually one is entered into non-duality, and this is the most kind of superior form of wisdom, or which is in the term itself in Tibetan, transcendent perfection, or prajna paramita paro tu chimpa, is referring to, crossing beyond. So that which goes beyond or crosses beyond or transcends the realm of like the world or samsara. And so then this is what is being referred to with this term spontaneously achieved or spontaneously established.
시랍스야 디 데네 시바 랍디 데 당부기 시바 통매 시바 당부 시바 되매기 시바 예되만네스 아니 야 시바들 닝매기 초게 날에는 육매기 시바 송도와 디고 개바지는 숨공기 릭바티마메바 송도다 방법감 디용도와 어디다보디 벤나 나라조 코베 날라다 데스타베는 아주 코베 날 말룬콩기 아주 지단게 미상말로 대식닝부치기요라 대화식닝부 디 톤다 숨구요래 당아서 디 당장기 예내 시바다부치는 아주 코베 날 말룬콩네 엔 차상 장마 벤나 셰르도다부치나 셰르도된 담날 말룬베갑라 셰르데베 당종주셔와 대답어디 시바를 합순구요르바 디 시랍디 아주 지단기 시르진 담을 홍베이나야 시르코랑이 원을 요 말바 나라주 달수일어 다 쪼바 차베 마도 코라라 남을 홍나레 말롱나레 당분에 얘네 장마 인도 그 인이 받아 어디다 보실라 아니 시랍순구요리 당장게 나히 랑싱이 넘버 타바 디 아니 캐주 가서 뒤마체기 인지레스 디 경기 가야 거야요 말고비 인자 룬주브레 땡큐 투바
And so that this wisdom or this knowing or awareness is the original awareness or the primordial awareness, that which was there from the beginning. So in the Nyingma tradition, they often refer to it as the original purity, the original mind. And Lord Jigten Sumgön says it is the stainless awareness, refers to it as stainless awareness. And it is that which is never tainted or corrupted by samsara. So it's essentially the Buddha nature, the Tathagata Garbha. And is once it is realized, it is understood to be that which has been there primordially. So it is never, just like the example of a crystal. So before there is the confusion of samsara, there is this innate awareness. So like a crystal that has fallen into the mud, before the crystal falls into the mud, it's like a perfection. It's bright and it's clear, and there isn't any stain. And then when it falls into the mud, it still actually remains unstained. It hasn't been tainted in any way, even though it's temporarily covered over by a layer of mud. Inside, its essence hasn't been changed or tainted in any way. And so this is what it is like with the original awareness, that is primordially clear and pure, and has never been affected or altered or tainted by any stain or any fault. And so this is what is being referred to with this term Hlungi Drupa, which is spontaneously established, or here translated as spontaneously achieved.
춘두기 랑신테 아니 얘네 탁바지 인자 엔텔라라량 gyönsi 제요 말이스 텔레 연대 사바야 샤고야 요 말이스 그 랑신 hlungi 초바 예자 지게도 숨바다 원디레 세전지야미 샤고르 샤바 중세미 양다니르 양다다 양다통의 넘버 2 숨바디 텐데스
And so this spontaneously established nature, being pure from the beginning, and being endowed with all of the perfected qualities, there actually isn't ever any fault to be removed, and there also aren't any new qualities to be added, because it is already perfected in its essence. It is stainless, and it is endowed with all of the perfected qualities. So just as is said, there's nothing to be removed from this and not the slightest bit to be added. Actual reality is actually seen as it really is. Whoever sees actual reality is liberated.
티인주 텔라테네 티다부기데네 춘줍테 랑신디 아니 균군세 연대군 적배칠라 아니 적배첨부스 민다 텔라테네 코바는 양간 대백의 최유제 최디 디랑신디 관대 용了 마이케베미드 카베나 차게 첨부스 민다 어디 코베게 되네 야주 파루도 선바 인자 히데기 파루도 심바 시 민다바 잠레스
And so then being naturally established, since in this essence all faults are exhausted and all qualities are perfected, then it is Dzogpa Chimpo, or the great perfection. And as it pervades the totality of...
Called Dzogpa Chimpo.
It's called
Chage
Chimpo. So this is why what we're referring to, what is called Dzogpa Chimpo, or the great perfection. And likewise, since it pervades the totality of all phenomena, or there is nothing within samsara and nirvana which is not pervaded by it, that is why it's called Mahamudra or Chaja Chimpo. And as it crosses beyond and is the transcendent perfection of wisdom, then this is why it is called Prajnaparamita, or the transcendent perfection of wisdom.
That's somebody tene nisumena sungdu so that details gambum na des tungu midu tandada gewashida midu di ngaras na gina nisumena sungdu juk sigirba daniela ni di kare ni di sung singye chaji de sigirba sung singye chaji de sigir sungjik amjogi gen nagen sungjik sana chaji de sigirba sungdu da nisumena nimena jik riba nisumena sungdu ju da tanda ge chilishana di nisumebe sidele rongo pangmo de de sungdu nisumena 자기 전부인스 디토나 시에는 nisumena 자기 전부에 자기 전부등이 되는 송주기 제 송주 카르에서는 세동 송주 릭동 송주 대동 송주기랑 신실했어.
So then, as it says, if there is no duality, then it is indivisible. And so there's a slight variation in the collected works or the kabum of Lord Jigten Sumgun, but so the first it says if there's no duality, but kind of literally speaking, it's if there aren't two. So first in this, and then it is an indivisible union, and in this. So what are the two? So you have then in the next line this word zung du juk. So zung, which is the first part, and that means indivisible or indivisibility. And the first part of that word or syllable of that word, which is zung, is actually referring to a pair of two. So for instance, if you have like two earrings and it is then together that is one pair, and so the two are there present kind of as an entity, but then what happens is they kind of actually merge into one. They just become one, and so as Pagmodrupa says, if there is non-duality, if they're no longer two, then that is Mahamudra. And so what Mahamudra is that this term here, which is Zungjo, which means like indivisibility or indivisible union, which is the indivisible union of clarity and emptiness, or awareness and emptiness, or bliss and emptiness. They are all one and the same.
Yala dida tamjen de tue shirap tundu sons yala jimba sudun saba samde tundu dige ngabu dige di ene kora surdu jigmayin di shirap tanda songbayin rwa songbu yore di indu di shirap gi tab gi chat di yala ngabu tab di da ene shirap di songdun juba di ene shirap paro chembare chage chembare
So again, that is essentially that what this is pointing to, and that all of these deliberate actions of accumulation of merit, for instance, through the other five perfections, or as it is said, from that line in the Bodhicharya Avatara, that all of the other branches are really meant to support or lead to that final branch of wisdom. So generosity and ethical discipline, patience, diligence, and meditative concentration. Then as method, then merge into or become infused with then also wisdom, wisdom itself being this indivisibility, this indivisible union, which then all become the nature of the transcendent perfection of wisdom, or Mahamudra. So the meaning here really essentially is this eventual merging or non-duality with regard to method and wisdom.
Sungdu jugoya gymzen harasana en dole sungba chisi chonyi tamba mazokba chisi chonyi tamba mazokbar sonamda cho yini mazokba tisi tongyi tamba to misis tisi tongyi tamba to sigmaris tabda hiramni sonamda yishi so mazokna tongyi gi tamba tongwa to tugu maris di indu tene sunamda cho 이시기 차디다 단다 탑기 차르바 탑기 차르 베나 자직 남갈라 부고 싶는 쇼바니 거르와 쇼바 지지고 붙고요 말에 베티나 신기 때네 탑다 시랍 니 송도 주고요와 송주고 봐
And so, with respect to this, it is said that as long as the two, so there's this indivisibility, but of these two, which are absolutely necessary for progression on the path. So it is said that if without both the accumulations of merit and wisdom, if these aren't brought to kind of full development, then there is no way to realize the meaning of the ultimate truth or emptiness. And so in order to realize this meaning of the ultimate truth, you have to have both. You have to have the pair of method and wisdom. So method being merit, the accumulation of merit, which is developed and eventually evolves into the accumulation of wisdom, and then they become an indivisibility. So, as is said, if a bird is to fly in the sky, it has to do so with two wings. So the bird depends on having two wings, and those two wings are the wing of method and the wing of wisdom. And so these two are ultimately practiced as an indivisibility.
직제 시바디든 루이고나 로르데 송도와 디 직디 데스냐 감범 난디 데스데 모델 감범 나라 루이기 초수 로르데 송샤 아주 현대의 루이기 관내 from the body 잡아쳐와 루이기 초수 from the body side 잡아치 식 딘데지마도 slightly 루이기 관내 루이기 초수 로르데
So in the kabum, the wording is slightly different, but very subtle difference, because I can't even really think of how to explain the difference in English. But in the kabum it says like on the part of the body, or in the literally like from the direction of the body, it is delightful indeed. And then here it says from literally from the door of the body, or from the perspective of the body, with respect to the body, it is delightful indeed.
tögsikdi ne zomna shugdes jödegidu töde ni zomna nimi dewaches jorwa ababde dida shamgi tsikdi jana ani dewachambodo lyug chosun yongurwa dewadi lyug chosun yongurwa ani dewache sunyade dishena wo de sunjuk deadwa mo comfortable was above that zomna nimi dewache is bliss words bliss.
Oh, bliss. Okay.
Bliss, right?
Yeah, bliss.
This is from the body, right? So luigi konne luigi chosu lorde luigi chosu dewachembu yebadi en lorde bore sunya to di kebatu.
So the la dewa nune bliss travel gyurna yagrebe. Yeah.
That is kambum nara. That's just leave it for the experience. Kebardi, just different. Just tell us.
Yeah. So the so also in the kabum it says a difference is that if these two coming together. From the perspective of the body, so that's not there in this version. The two coming together. So then, from the perspective of the body, it is blissful. So actually, because what is it is here is delightful, but what the delight that is being experienced, or the bliss that is being experienced, is actually in the body, or dependent upon the presence of the body.
다 로카르 디기어스 디기처 로카르 디고르스나 다 자기 친구들 완저로 인자 완저로 인자 다 로데버레 대답으로 대와 대단 kinder스나 아니 곰게베간라 똑바다 쮸바 메베 딩지 레 통베기 가와암 야나 이 대와다 이 메데와야 누베 Demi Dungmi ya Mayimbe Tangyum Ta, Champa Yongsu Tawa Samden Shimba Yebar Drupde, Nebe Rangrugi Kona Lord de Shi Sumba Tuyins.
So then here also, so for what is being implied is that, when one has mastery of Mahamudra, is it really developed in the practice of Mahamudra, then there becomes, one enters into a state where there is the absence of thought and examination, and actually the joy that arises from samadhi. Both the happy and unhappy mind states disappear, and in that absence of happiness and suffering, there is equanimity. And this is the happy.
Someday Shivala, someday reached, or Diana, and the Lord they would do.
So this also corresponds with the fourth stage of meditative concentration, or the fourth dhyana, and in which mindfulness is fully purified. And so this is actually where that true kind of delight of the body, or with regard to the body, see how blissful or delightful it is. So we'll take a break now.
근데 tumbu니 badi mena matse shenjun so Kampum nala didu mena rangshen chanam dus rang de shen niga dus azu jiu de na mana shen zhong jiu bu dua rangshen chanam dus jiu da di chanju rinpoche da chanju sem tok rinpoche wan de gyurbe yindu de sung gi kan sung se changma ani shen zhong de ma gyurbe me sung bu yore da de yang 지금까지 다디 지르드네 티와 첨보 상하도지 티와디나 드네 티와 첨보 공수인도 자주 셈디 흉람다버리 드네 디메나 드리요 말에 학버도 지금까지 디 드네 가자 추니지체 조지 밴드 어디세 기버든데 투모 마임지 유튜 chanjubsamdi kechambuji cha yuyore bernangarazu shendong kendeji sungbeine choga kendeji sungbeine tangbu goda dala dangwa chebe da neba chebe nang gosu yorwa tena shiri tene tena shingi tene ngazu di da nyamnengi zo chagi chambungande di yang tene 당보디 되네 참더니 껴버지던 숨구기 되네 숨구나 거대 참더니 지다보라 셴뱅기 규도 마찬나 나를 한 셴뱅기 규도 마찬나 첨라미 우르지면 저 섬고도 되는 내서 송 찬주sem디 다 숨구여디 나라 맨날 맞세 셴도 소스
So then we have the next section referring to speech. So it says, if there is speech, then when speaking, the benefit of others is fulfilled. And so in the Kabum, actually, or the collected works of Jigten Sumgun, there's a slight difference, and then it says, not just the benefit of others is fulfilled, but both the benefit of oneself and others is fulfilled or accomplished. And so here, as Jigten Sumgun has said, if the one is empowered with bodhicitta or infused with bodhicitta, then whatever words that are spoken spontaneously or accomplish the benefit of others, or benefit of self and others. And so in our Drikung Kagyu tradition, in which we practice a secret mantra, but which is heavily based in, or like the foundation of which is the Mahayana, the teachings of the Great Vehicle, then it's really necessary to cultivate bodhicitta. So if we engage in the practices of the path without bodhicitta, that's not okay. And so for this reason, there's such an emphasis in our tradition on cultivating bodhicitta, and also the vows are given in each of the, great teaching events that occur, in our tradition, and in such a way that is also in accord with the common tradition of these teachings as it stems from Atisha. And so also all of our practices, whatever text or whatever practice it is that we're doing, we always begin with the very first lines generating bodhicitta with the prayer that begins, all mother sentient beings, especially those enemies who hate me. And then also, since in our tradition the core practice is the practice of the cycle of the fivefold path of Mahamudra, and the first of these practices as the special preliminary is the the practice of bodhicitta, or the special preliminaries of bodhicitta. And then also, as Lord Jigten Sumgön says in his Song of Realization of the Fivefold Path of Mahamudra, if the steed or the horse of love and compassion does not run for the benefit of others, then it won't receive the applause of gods and humans. So therefore, you must attend ardently to these preliminaries.
Nyingma ka lamne sungbarwa, Nyingma poetry. Dina la tene Nyingma ka sukjen gen seje tene sukjen ki gen sumju songe nang ki chik Nyingma. Dina la tene chamba da nyingji di dala pesha. Ane ta yukse ta tan jendur cheje yukse ang tangku towa. Tabiade chanjusemla pesha da gyukpati da gyukne gyudo jes to gyudo steels nge gyudo jes da gyukne ang thangul lembatela sigirwa ti thangul lemma thomna ene tangmara gi mari ene temoda ye samalo gi kasuda dene ge bala so gurchi yung mari ti indi ene da thomna ang thangul chanjusem 타바 나신기 찬주sem디 라테네 nen데 차고래 토말 주 상맹 거라테네 찬주sem디 차고래 송로.
So in these lines from the Vajra song, which is really poetry, then there's the
poetry the pe su pe yorwa.
So in general, there are there's a system in Tibetan poetry where there are different metaphors, like 35 different metaphors that are used to...
Actually, it's original from Indian poetry, yes.
Okay. And these different metaphors always signify different things. So one of these metaphors is the metaphor of a horse that represents love and compassion. And so here it says, the horse of love and compassion, if it doesn't win, first place in the race, the first place, really referring to bodhicitta, is like the kind of best prize or first place of love and compassion. And so if it doesn't run in the race and receive a first place or become bodhicitta essentially, then one won't receive, it won't incite or inspire the applause and kind of clapping of others. So this is.
다디난 가르송거서 저 되네 참바 생애지 닝지 생애지 장주샘 생애 숨송거와 디단 대화 송거래. 아니 상계 구숨긴 되고 톱고 중나 상계 구숨디 랑튼도 추구 현든도 수군이기 대 구숨긴 되고 톱고 중나 되는 매나 매충배 사번치 거다 수양다 보지 장주샘이스 장주샘디 양타보지 끼고 쳤나 디 사번다 보지 참다 닝지 디 인도 디날은 참다 닝지 장주샘 비고 매가 좀 받대 봐. 다 디고네 되네 다들 식디날 채나다 개베디 매나 랑신 tö남 줍스 디다부 장주샘디 제베나 랑든 추구 샹도 수군 얘기는 더 탄도 그래서.
And so there are three. We always speak of this in three terms, with three terms: love, compassion, and bodhicitta. So when one attains the state of Buddhahood, the fruition of that is the full development or manifestation of the three kayas of Buddhahood. So the Dharmakaya, which accomplishes one's own benefit, and the two form kayas or Rupakaya, which achieve the benefit of others. So in order to to attain these three kayas, the seed for that is bodhicitta. And then the seed for bodhicitta are love and compassion. And so this is why they always appear here as three, in kind of a causal relationship. And so then in the Vajra song, if these are not there, if these are not present, then there is no way to accomplish the benefit of self and others.
Nyingma Nyingma de mame maju yulendes. That's siki mame bata. Turn tam da maju yulende badi. Turn tam bashira paru chimba ruyorba. Da tanda gebe gambum nala tebaji mame masam yulendes. Turdi maju something tebadwa. Something yanda de da jeba jugo meshamindu. When I sang with the death, Coachessa the Kaisana, Yumchan when they are Massam Jimmy Shira Parochi. My Yin Nangbango, so soon as he drew about to some give you the chancellor, said the Tandarba, so the Indu turned Hambeg in Mola, and then Sigi about the tablet, Sambe Yulan Tamegi, Sambe Yulan Debris. Cassie Sigi Jabajigi, Hegu, Tamebe Sigi Shaya Jignang. 타메베 330 치아지나 디 전담바 체크요 말이 군수 부처 체크요래 근데 디 매나 매제간 두래 아니 맘에 마삼 줄을 대박한 두 말이스 디인지 준중 나라 숨으로와 전담로 이주미 로니 군수 임벌데스 디인지 마삼 Jube Yulen Deba, Tetawati, and I hear like Patu Chamber turned on by Dambati soon.
So then the next lines are so then, and not speaking is beyond objects of speech. So in the Kabum, it says there's one word that is there that's not here, which is like it is beyond objects of speech and objects of like conceptual mind. It is beyond thought, essentially beyond thought and expression. So here, meaning that it is the essence of the transcendent perfection of wisdom and becomes the nature of the ultimate truth. And so this non-speech, which is beyond, the ordinary activities or the ordinary concepts and expressions of ordinary beings, if it is, within the realm of expression and conceptual thought, then it falls into the realm of the relative. It is no longer within the realm of the ultimate truth. So just like the words, referring to the transcendent perfection of wisdom, it is beyond speech, beyond thought, beyond expression. Prajna Paramita, which is unborn and unceasing, the very essence of space, yet it can be experienced as the wisdom of our own awareness. Homage to the mother of the Buddhas of the past, present, and future. Diniti chunjotla yapoko masongla. Chunjotla. Gandre sungdo chunjotla.
Chunjune did Tandam lo yi ju yu mi lo ni kunzu yimbar des lo chena kunzu bre.
And so again, that which is within the realm of concepts and thoughts is the expression of the relative truth. And it also says in the Bodhicharya Avatara that that which is experienced from the perspective or the mind, which is the intellect, the conceptual mind, it becomes or is the nature of the relative.
Then samjul in debe turn the conditioners then sangye jumden degi sungni namka tongsing simjen sila rabdu namka chidar tongwa dishin takbaranzu namka kinje tongso dikiran takje shese namka chidar tongwa tenna shi takje shese 대신 최통와야 대신 식배때 상계의 최 탐색의 랑싱태야 디 남계 랑시디다 버려 송요. 남갈 딱제시 송요로 남과 통시 스메스를 잡도 주요서. 어디나 시리때 남갈은 가서 상매 남과 통식이 war대 있는 남바디 컨트롤도 된 딱제시로. 남바 딱제시하더라 남바 tel라더니 유ien 탐제의 체요로 봐. 대요 말이 두마체기 잉리 규견을 요 말이 디인지 배낭 알아서 낭바 거를 근데 딱제잖아 아니 스페이스힙 지그날 침비나 남 거를 친데 남발 스페이스힙 디 푸투로 남도 나가날 누구로 봐 moon, we have to go by noon. Then spaceship, right? The put on the Ravagale, and ya gilliasona, namge gid cavando, shad cavando, rock cavado, walk cavado, shallow nubjan cavando canantene, Zusuk slamna. Tuya yomarva. 어디다 붙이 책이 왔다. 말씀 좀 유래돼 봐.
And so then also the Buddha says that you should look at so beings should look at space or in trying to seeing space to investigate, if what can be seen, and if it is seen, then that becomes the essence, or that sort of seeing of non-seeing essentially is the essence of all the Tathagatas or all of the Buddhas, and so there is this metaphor that is used for the nature of mind, that it is like space-like. It is said to be like space. But of course, we cannot see space. If we look at space, there is nothing there that can be seen. But still, in examining and really deeply looking and examining, then what we find is that this essence is space-like in that it is beyond, completely free from all causes and conditions. It is uncompounded. So being free from causes and conditions, it is space-like in its nature. It's a close analogy for it is that of space. And so if we, for instance, wish to go to the moon, and then we have to go in a spaceship to the moon, and once we're there, and if we look out into space, and we say, oh, what is space? Where is the center of space? Where is the bottom, the ground of space? Where is the top of space? If we try to point with our finger, what is the west? What is to the east? What is to the north and south and so forth? We can't really indicate any direction or point. And so in that way, this is similar to what is being referred to here with beyond words or beyond expression, beyond concept. It is completely beyond or transcends the realm of conceptual mind.
특제 숨바디 니스면의 송도 주다 대 당기 콘도 전다 찍바라 봐. 니스메나 ene sungsu chupa res. Ta dila kiba kambum nanda tes chi manda towa tangi tsikonde mame masam chulende sa tsikjiwa ababde. Mame masam chulende ba ina tsikshima de dindu tana nishume sunu chidar chaygan gyurmi ngaasdu. Chidar chaygan gyurmi ngaasdi kiba kambum nanga tsikdi. Kiba kambum nanga mame masam chulende sayadi yinza dinde yinza ane chidar chaygan gyurmi ngaala res. Chage shamba yuwa mewe ngaala, tuandamba yuwa mewe ngaala res, tuandamba alwa. Nisumena sungdu chukta, jigbara tuanda.
And so then it's the same, as it is with the, above with respect to the body, the door of the body, then with respect to speech, if it is beyond the objects of speech, and then in the kabum or the collective works of Jigten Sumgun, it says, with that which is beyond thought and beyond expression, beyond the conceptual mind, then if there is no duality, then it's indivisible. And so as that is the case, it is the unwavering Mahamudra, the essence of the ultimate truth. If there is non-duality, then it is Mahamudra.
Nisu mebe chagechin butundi kinderesana, kindes jangresana, any pena trubdo gaju nalogi, any nalo ne tamba winaba, hiwamena tambura, shunye di kon tene tambura danche, lo mangbu jik, the kongi yabgi, tene tela nyambar sha jungni, the tambura dala. Then the same shache, Dala Nyambar Shani, Dadirba, Sawatama Nyambar Shaba, Sawata, Sawala Nyambatabashan, Shinecomache, Shinecom, Dinema, Ding Sabuji, then T turned the Tabagala, and Daddy, Kinechung, the Taxi Shabagala, Daddy, any Tambudegi, Shing Domne Chumbamari. Dadi biwan yu shibu dile chungpa maari. Dadi lakba jigo ne chungpa maari. Wana dadi lakba ki zuwa tang, dine gyugu tang, dine hingi tambura dige tsangma chokpe nga ne dadi yungu yores. Chazang gyugen chokpe nga la da tsangma yungu gunzu bucho tsangma rwa. Ine ti nga la dakji chebe na gyugen dige pa mewa so tena, ane jian yoma dongpa nigi rashi rwa. Chetsang di sangye Chetsang megi nyingbu tenjing jingchung mandokpe chonga yuwa maye no. Tishin tongye mandokpe chonga yuwa maye no. Sungpeke tuyan tuwane nisu mebe tuyan di. Tenjing jingchung mandokpa. Independent riba, origin. Tenjing jingchung mandokpe cho yo ma re. Chetsang ma tenjing jingchung re. Ten na shingi tishin tongye mandokpa di rangshin di Dongpa nigi mado Chö shanda yo ma res. Sung yaga tuande nisu mebe chun chage chenpo de Dene Teta wachi res.
So then, with regard to this non-duality being Mahamudra, so the way to, or one example for sort of training in this, or to understand this, is exemplified by one of the 80 Mahasiddhas, Vinapa, who was a musician who played the tambura. And he played the tambura for many years and meditated on the sound coming from this stringed instrument, the sound of the tambura. So he placed his mind to rest on the sound itself. So this actually then became the practice of calm abiding which is the, in the 4 foundations of mindfulness, mindfulness of sensation. So by placing his awareness on the mindfulness of sensation, which is essentially the experience or sensation of sound, and then his meditative absorption went deeper and deeper into that sound. And as he examined the nature of that, and investigated from where is it that this sound arises? Does it arise from the tambura, from the wood of the tambura? Does it arise from the string of the tambura? Does it arise from the hand that is plucking the strings of the tambura? And then in that examination, he saw directly that it was neither of those. It was all of those causes and conditions coming together that produce the sound. And if those causes and conditions, like each of those causes and conditions does not come together, is not present, then there is no sound that is produced. And so he discovered that this is the same with all relative phenomena. So all relative phenomena comes about through a collection of unique causes and conditions. But when you investigate those causes and conditions, you see that none of them exists independently, and that there is actually really nothing there. And so, as the Buddha has said, apart from karmic interdependence or dependent origination, there is no phenomena that exists. And the nature of this is nothing other, and apart from emptiness, there is no essence to this. There is no real nature that exists.
Tena tamang shudi ngagi shona lor des tene di masam mame masam jelen deba yinza and teda bu chage chimbudi ngondu kyutu ngagi na lor dewa yins.
And so again, if it is beyond speech, if it is beyond concepts or objects of the mind, then it is the non-duality or indivisibility, which is Mahamudra.
Da somebody kena geze sonam so son kena geze ta benang anzu girim da buji cha샤be na eni girim haagi sombaye na jina girim komya di rangi gi lü tame bi xiamba ji tame ba ji yo na eni anzu ngo bu chi yu le de yong chu le kar te be ne tame gi de ja xedang gal du ba 이내 랑이 탐액이 되는 류디 내 귤니 이담 글라이 상계기 되는 상계 이담 라이 나예지가 나이 이담 라디기 나바자마인베 구숭 토견데 땡할여 삼바지기 딘데지 갈 대여나 아니 유 뇌라 소발이나 테다보기 차바 연구 말와 디인디 아니 이담 라이 기름 고야 미유조디 And tamegi lugi siampan dongya chidu idam lai kombares.
And so then the next line, which starts the next section dealing with the mind, is that it actually just says if there are arisings, so in the translation here I added mental, if there are arisings at the time of arising, and so forth. So the arising here, also, His Holiness said it can refer to the generation stage, so the arising of the enlightened form of the deity. And so when we are not identified with the enlightened form of the deity and instead are identified with our ordinary form, then whatever the objects of the senses that appear, whatever phenomena can become a cause to generate affliction. So in dependence upon what we see or experience through the doors of the senses, then there's the arising of attachment, there's the arising of anger, and so forth. But when that ordinary nature is transformed and becomes the enlightened essence of Buddhahood in the form of the deity, and we really identify with ourselves as the deity, and we then experience the enlightened qualities of the deity's body, speech, and mind, then whatever experience through the doors of the senses doesn't become a cause to generate affliction. There's no attachment there. And so the objective of the generation stage is to overcome or to reverse or transform like the perception of ordinariness.
기림 사이 개발을 신도 기야데 믹바데 제바라바 참아데 제바데 체맥이 되네 다 믹바데 제바데 손남 그 소공스도 요레스.
And so then it says at the time of arising, so or at the time of arising in the form of the deity, for instance, then merit is accumulated. So this is merit. Why? Because it is activity that has a point of reference, an object of focus. So it falls into the category of activity with attributes. And so since it is activity with attributes, then it falls into the category of merit, the accumulation of merit.
마기 김이 이시 소승이신도가 두에 여서 티슈데 마기 김이 다 기름디 조름을 봐다 배나 사기에버디에다 가진바신도 야기드네 하디다 치유게 하던 난게 할구려야 뒤뒤 조발 매버차 디안데네 하구디 토게게 nga라데 nga디야 사본라다 사본 홍다부디야 이 셰프네 야든바 나다피도 매버차는 림바 신 팀바 다 조버와 조바 내가 조버 림바 안데네 믹바 매바 나네데네 조버린 갈에 냐버 샤버바 다디 조림디 마기기미 히수스 마기버레 이 개와 매바디 초니기 나라네 이식 소공전 그래스 애는 니가 좀나 송중중스 다 딩이 소남다 이식 초딩이 답시 송들에 가는 니가 좀 네 송주기 니가 좀나 송주주 아주 니 수면나 송주주 그러다 감범 나는 아주너로 니가 좀나 송주주 다디니 탑다 실은 니가 좀나 송주 랑싱게 송주여와 송주주 고야요 말에 뭐 송주주 바야냐 페이지 쩌바드 제바처럼 쩌바드 제바 이나 페이지 양 전담배 갈래 데스 레카고로 봐 니가 좀바 이나 좀 사나 송주랑 신이 말해 송비 근데 인사 이기고는 러를 대송. 이슈가 이기고는 러를 대샤션.
So then as it says, and in non-arising, there's the accumulation of unborn primordial wisdom. And so non-arising in this case is referring to the completion stage. So in arising we have the generation stage, and there's the outer container, which is the celestial palace, and then all of the attributes of the deity's form, or whatever, the expanse of the mandala, and then at the heart is the seed syllable. So say, for instance, the seed syllable is hung. And then gradually in progressive stages, each aspect of the visualization of the deity's mandala dissolves one into the other until finally it dissolves into the seed syllable, and then the seed syllable dissolves itself, and one rests within the referenceless expanse. And so then that becomes the completion stage. So this is this completion stage is what is being referred to here as non-arising. And so it is through this, because it is non-referential, then this becomes the accumulation of wisdom. So in the gathering of the two accumulations, we have the accumulation of merit and the accumulation of wisdom. The accumulation of merit here being the generation stage, the accumulation of wisdom here being the completion stage. And then eventually, then these two become a non-duality. They become the union of method and wisdom. And in that non-duality, it is indivisible. In the Kabum, again, there is this difference, which it says when the two in the two coming together, or in the joining. But actually, there is no deliberate action of joining here. So we're not actually actively merging these into one, because that implies effort. And what actually is being referred to here is actually beyond effort. It is beyond deliberate effort. If there's effort, then it isn't the nature of the ultimate truth. But once this merging occurs on its own, spontaneously, there is indivisibility. It is the nature of indivisibility. And so then the final line then being, then it's indivisible, and with respect to the mind, see how delightful it is.
Sungjuk Nyingma chake chambu di tön tokpa yinza and yigi gona lor des yine keba gamu nala tokpa chos lor des on the page tokpa de taga yusa tokpa de realization rawa jig the same gi chane da was rawa yigi chane jig des shipche chena Nyingma Sungjuk Nyingma chake chambu tön de tokpa yinza ngon de kurba yinza and lot de was then di shu de tsad de ne di shu de ju ji do xian le me ba ma la yin gu su la yi gu su lu yi sang sing di rang ge nyam su nya wa yi ta pang mo zhe bai ga ding ge ye cao gu li ya nyam len zhe bai gan la so su xian le xian yi tun da qi me so su nyam len de to gyong ba qi jie zui gyong ba qi de yin song tu.
So again, in this non-duality being the nature of Mahamudra, and the song as it says, so it being beyond the objects of the mind, or beyond the objects of thought, but actually, in the Kabum, there's also mention of, since it is beyond objects of realization, so it transcends even the concept of realization. If non-duality is really realized, then it just completely transcends the relative realm of the conceptual mind. And then, as it says in the Kabum also, that the secret words of Kusuli are to be experienced directly for oneself. So Lord Jigten Sumgön is saying, through the kindness of his master Pagmo-Drupa, he has realized the meaning, the essential meaning of the essence. But it isn't actually something that can be conveyed or explained to others, but has to be experienced for oneself directly through direct understanding or realization.
Donna conclusion. Donna ani 류기 차와 강 제자다 나기고내기 매체 이기고내기 삼체 이게 상마 탑의 시럽의 야마태와 양고의 인송
And so then, in conclusion, all of these activities of body, speech, and mind. So when deliberate action of the body is cut off, deliberate action of speech is cut off. If deliberate action of the mind is cut off, or if there's no longer the deliberate activities of body, speech, and mind, then all becomes the indivisible union of method and wisdom. So these are one is never separate from the spontaneous accumulation of these two as one.
Tene ge lunga yisum luda nga yisum gi chawa thada thanda thala machimba chanjup sim gi lamla yan drawale en nga lotte boyu lotte bo chungs gurnal
Gurnal
nga yu kone lore des yorwa
and so then as
lu da nga da yisum gi lega khari ne changma tene kunzup thandam chanjusem yama thawar nyamsu langbe en nga lo de boyis lo nga yisum ko lo de
and so then in body, speech, and mind, whatever activity or non-activity, when one is never separate from kind of the union of these two, the relative and ultimate bodhicitta, then this becomes the ongoing practice that then causes one to progress on the path to awakening, and how delightful it is.
Tati tene di gurgi dewa ningdu shu ne gurdi sarjik sungro na.
So then also we can sing once again the song as we conclude the teachings. At the feet of glorious Pagmodrupa I bow down. If there is activity, when acting it is method, and if there is no action, through that non-activity, it's spontaneously achieved. If there's no duality, then it's indivisible. With regard to the body, see how delightful it is. If there's speech, then when speaking, the benefit of others is fulfilled, and not speaking is beyond objects of speech. If there's no duality, then it's indivisible. From the perspective of speech, see how delightful it is. If their mental arisings at the time of arising, merits accumulated, and in non-arising there's the accumulation of unborn primordial wisdom. If there's no duality, then it's indivisible. So with respect to the mind, see how delightful it is by the virtue of this song about body, speech, and mind, sung as it arose within meditative experience in the splendorous Sawu Grove. May awakening soon be reached. May awakening soon be reached.
The joke du Tene Garchen Rinpoche Guzisha Betemba, the Loma Belop Samalo, the Sungkam Tang, Semkam Sangma Tetanto, and Yirigi Sosu Chuki Chawa, Jidang Chawa Tamje, something Shushin Drove, and Bundu Shui.
So also then in conclusion, His Holiness would just like to make the aspiration for His Eminence Garchen Rinpoche's long life and good health, and also has the prayers and aspirations that all of you, all of the students, and all of your activities, both worldly and Dharma, that you may have success and good fortune.
Gurden dara gudon do won benza bema aho ya number da bawan jizer jasa ya wan ben rege aho se jaran ko yoga yong se ko wewe hong re ya jar bo re ro shalem babo Lon Zambele na Balanjo Zandamenye Shadele Dale Balo Mayada Maya Yena de Yode Dalam Nindan Dame Ninja Darambo Jayero Bazan Jayen Danjoyeba Mame Baya Lodon Kolo Rinpoche Norve Rinpoche Demo Rinpoche Lambo Rinpoche Lambo Rinpoche Anjo Rinpoche Mabo Rinpoche Koyemboye Bamba Navama Dewama Lema Garma Medoma Dobema Nozema Yajama Nyama Lawa Rinpoche Do Solena Bai Wizalada Maya Banjam Pusong Topo Mazang Wame Shenkan Number Topan Denye Goye Ye Ngaye Danye Tome Bodalam Donha Donjale Denzena Mana Jangon Gonjo Dens Gonzang Jale Landa Bar Zambe Sharngane Tekbajim Menga Samo Lebar Tobe Yandam Berwajawo Tojin Dove Donde Yesusa Yena Zenje Labdo Soar Zaya Bejo Soye Medodang Raralai Nyede Jambanda Sanje Yenla Mede Pervaya Dogananda Shenda Jawar Hoi Gosan Yonzo Lame Zonan Sena Sansa De Yen Yen Joy Dale Langjo Nase Yon Ye Lame Jogan Zardo Sor Sansa Wadan Jejen Yabada Jisa Yaran Garchen Sorwa Ye Dedication prayer, page 29. Lord dictation was dedication prayer. Do in English.
Glorious, holy, venerable, precious, kind root and lineage lamas, divine assembly of yidams and assemblies of Buddhas, bodhisattvas, heroes and heroines, yogini and assembly of dakinis dwelling in the 10 directions, please heed me. By the power of this vast root of virtue, may I benefit all sentient beings through my body, speech, and mind. May the afflictions of desire, hatred, ignorance, pride, and jealousy not arise within my mind. May thoughts of fame, reputation, wealth, honor, and concern for this life not arise for even a moment. May my mind stream be moistened by loving kindness, compassion, and bodhicitta, and through that may I become a spiritual master with good qualities equal to the infinity of space. May I gain the supreme attainment of Mahamudra in this very life. Even at death, may the torment of suffering not arise. May I not die with negative thoughts. May I not die confused by wrong view. May I not experience an untimely death. May I die joyfully and happily in the great luminosity of the mind as such, and in the pervasive clarity of Dharmata. May I, in any case, gain the supreme attainment of Mahamudra at the time of death or in the bardo.
Yanda par tobe Sancho Rinpoche Topar George Shivza Kunze Kanchen Cheje Tender Nela Wanton Jagong Barenchen Parja Timba Sinde Bashada Tusang Gombe Den George Chatong Kola Jerve Jarwo Dan Jendong Karba Zambi Sanje Dong Kamla Kande Dela Sanba Jine Zela Janzalo Om Ane Bene Ore
So Tashi Deleg to everyone all over the world, online, over the internet and in person.
This concludes this auspicious gathering. We are so blessed to have had Your Holiness Chetsang Rinpoche come to the Garchen Institute to bestow the Bodhisattva vows and this profound teaching by Lord Jigden Sumgön, and to celebrate Losar with us. And we are so grateful for you coming and so happy. Thank you so very much. And we pray that you will return once again to bless us. And thank you for bringing the snow as well. And thank you to Virginia for your translation. And thank you to all of His Holiness's attendants for helping make things go so smoothly. Thank you to all of our participants in person and online. And thank you so much to our service team to make it all work on the other side. And we wish you all a very happy, auspicious New Year. Thank you. Everyone can make offerings now if you line up. Stay after you make your offerings. We have a few announcements. Thank you.
please stay for just a moment with announcements? Thank you. So, are you there? All right, folks, just a few quick things. We made it 2 weeks of incredible everything here at Garchen Institute. My gosh! You guys are so amazing. It's just been such an honor to be with such serious practitioners. You know, that's what we're here for. And to have these kinds of blessings, you know, I don't need to tell you with Garchen Rinpoche and His Holiness the Chetsang Rinpoche. So just a few things. Bookstore will be open until 6:30 tonight. And dinner's at 5. Breakfast tomorrow will be at 8. And we'll just have it for 45 minutes, so it'll be more of a simple breakfast for those of you who are still there. We know we have a lot of departures this afternoon, so safe journeys. We've got a decent road for you to get out of here. Those of you, most of you, in the gathering hall, if you could just put your mats and sleeping bags that you borrowed from us into the one corner. There's a sign up there that says, leave your stuff here. That would be really helpful for us. And then also, if you wanted to help this afternoon, we probably will have a few things, so just come on into the office, either talk to Ani Dogme, myself, Mary, or anybody else. Maybe, well, he's not available this afternoon. So just come to the office and I'll help you out if you want to do that. If not, of course, enjoy the rest of your time here at the Garchen Institute. What else? Anybody, any final questions or thoughts? Thank you. You're awesome. Yeah. Oh, yes. I have one final announcement. There is a small green mat that was in the gathering hall that is missing. And it is really important to the person whose it is. Anybody? Small green mat? Did you take it by mistake? Thicker? Thicker or shorter? Nope. Okay, so we've solved that mystery. All right, well, I will thank you for the thanks, and I thank all of you back. Much love. See you next time.